So it's that time of the year again where it's kind of annoying because we have to buy gifts for people and we don't know what to buy. And well, maybe you have somebody in your life who is an artist and you want to buy them a gift. And you want to be thoughtful and you want to get them something that is related to their interests. And your first instinct might be to buy them a pen or a pencil or something you can draw with. And that might be a bad idea, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's talk about some gift ideas for artists. And I know there's not too much time till Christmas, so I'm going to keep this stuff to things that you can probably get in the span of a week. My first suggestion and my favorite suggestion will always be books, art books, because that's like something about being an artist and just looking at pictures, and it doesn't matter what kind of art book really, as long as we see pictures, this brain inside goes, ooh, pictures, art, good, I like. So honestly, any kind of art book is a pretty safe choice. But here are some recommendations for art books for the holidays. If you are giving to somebody who is really getting serious about art or really trying to learn about art, well, I have two books that I always recommend. The first one is How to Draw by Scott Robertson, and the second is Color and Light by James Gurney. Now, if the person you're giving the gift to is more of a line drawer, someone who likes to draw with pencils and pens, anime, environments, comics, things like that, then I would suggest How to Draw more. It focuses more on perspective and line drawing and hard surface stuff. So this book would probably be more suitable for them. On the other hand, if the person is a painter, someone who paints with gouache and watercolor, acrylics, really likes landscape paintings and things like that, then I would definitely recommend Color and Light more, because it talks about, well, color and light, how to paint, and talk about color theory. And it is also a little bit more focused on traditional painting, although it does apply to digital painting as well. So if the person is more of an illustrator type, then I would definitely suggest Color and Light. It's great books for artists, young budding artists especially. If you have someone in your life who is, thinking about going to art school or thinking about starting a career as a professional artist, or even just starting to get really serious about learning art, these two books, really good. Okay, if you don't want to gift a gift that is a little too heavy in content, these are quite serious books. I would classify them under educational, instructional books. If that's not the kind of gift that you want to give, then maybe look at some other art books for specific artists. Now, if you know the person's favorite artist, you know that they're a big fan of Sargent or Michelangelo or somebody, then maybe look into giving them art books specific to that artist. So I have two recommendations for art books by specific artists that I am a huge fan of, and well, here it is. So for something that is a little bit more modern and contemporary, I would recommend James Jeans's Pareidolia. This book. James Jean is one of the greatest modern masters of illustration, and this art book is like his collection of all the work that he's done over time. There are other James Jean art books out there, and if you can get your hands on them and you can't get your hands on this one, then those are pretty great too, but I like this one specifically. Yeah, it's really good in it. But yeah, it's really wonderful for someone who is more interested in the sort of modern style of illustration, something more contemporary, more current. Also very suitable for people who are really interested in tattoo art. Really, really cool. And as always, there will be links in the description below for all these stuff. Okay, next one, for someone who is more interested in the classical style of illustration, this is the J.C. Leyendecker collection by Cutler and Cutler. Now, there are a couple of different publishers out there who have J.C. Leyendecker books. They're all great because they're all just J.C. Leyendecker paintings. This one I like because it has a collection of all the covers that he has done for the Saturday Evening Post. And there's a lot of J.C. Leyendecker stuff in here. There's just so much art. And J.C. Leyendecker, who paints fabric like Michelangelo sculpts penises. It's just overall a really great, beautiful book. It's a recent pickup of mine, and I have been enjoying it a lot so far. Don't limit yourself to these two books. These are only just recommendations. If you're familiar with their art style and you know what they like, definitely look into artists who maybe draw in a similar style or use a similar medium that could possibly provide some sort of reference or inspiration to the person you're giving the book to. So look into those artists and see if they also have art books of their own. Now lastly, for someone who is a huge fan of concept art like myself, or someone who wants to get into concept art, definitely look into books, the art of concept books. You know, these art of books are always a great resource into and provide a lot of insight into whatever it is that they're making, whether it's a movie or a video game. For a sci-fi fan, I would recommend The Art of Dune. This is the new Denis Villeneuve Dune. It's what can I say about Dune that hasn't been said already? It's good. It's good. Dune is good. Dune is good. For a fantasy fan, I would recommend something like The Art of... I don't have any fantasy art books, do I? Dinotopia is really good. Yeah, Dinotopia is really good. But in any case, these art books are always a welcome gift to artists. They never really get old, and I have way too many of these. You can never have too many. Maybe you can. But if you know this person is a fan of a specific franchise, a specific property like a video game or a movie, try and see if you can find any art books or art of books related to that thing in particular. So before I get into some recommendations, let's talk about why you really shouldn't be giving artists pens or stationery in general, really. The simple fact is that artists are really particular about the stationery they use. And I don't know about you, but if you're anything like me, well, my favorite pen is the Pilot High-Tech C. I use it for basically 90% of the work that I do on paper, and I don't touch anything else, right? So if someone gives me a pen, no matter how nice or expensive it is, I'm likely not going to use it. It's probably going to just sit somewhere, and every time I'm going to draw, I'm still going to reach for that Pilot High-Tech C, and it's just kind of a waste. It's kind of a waste. But if you do want to give stationery, then your best choice is probably going to be sketchbooks. These are, for me, the only stationery that I still have problems not buying. Like, I have so many empty sketchbooks, but I still want to buy more sketchbooks because it's just nice. It's nice to buy an empty sketchbook and think about all the stuff that you can fill it in with and the potential that it could have. I recently just got these as a gift. This is a Midori notebook paper and sleeve. It's the MD paper cover and the MD notebook for sketching, and it's really good. I really like these papers, and well, if you know this person and you know what kind of paper they like, then that helps inform your decision. If you know this person is really into watercolors and paintings, then get them sketchbook with a thicker paper. And if you know this person is like a travel sketchbooker, they like to just bring the sketchbook out and draw in cafes and whatnot, get them something like this, a slimmer type of notebook. Another thing that you can think about gifting is the traveler's notebook. It comes in a sleeve. You can get the sleeve and some accessories and sketchbook inserts. It's a little bit on the pricier side, but it just looks nice and it's a good looking gift. So that's pretty much it for sketchbooks. If you really want to gift an artist like a drawing utensil, like a pen or a pencil, then maybe think about gifting them something that they haven't tried before, like a new medium. Then that way it encourages them to experiment, and they don't really have a preconception of what they like and don't like. There's no preference there or any bias involved, and it's kind of an overall exciting experience for everybody. So maybe look into something like a new medium, like gifting them a gouache set if they don't really paint usually, or if they just paint with oils, or something like a dip pen and a bottle of ink is a really cheap but thoughtful gift for somebody who is really into drawing manga or line art and things like that, but have never really tried the experience of drawing with a dip pen. And if this person is already a big fan of drawing with fountain pens or dip pens and things like that, then ink is always a really good gift. You can never have too much of it, and there's just so much variety. There's so many different colors and cool types of inks out there. It's always a welcome thing to receive. I'm always happy when I get a bottle of ink for the holidays. Growing up, I was always the kid who could draw. Like, everyone knew me as that guy. So I cannot tell you how many times every Christmas I would receive pens and pencils and art kits and paints and sketchbooks and pencil cases. And sometimes I just want some Legos. Like, while I do like all these gifts and I'm grateful for them, whatever they may be, I am more than just the kid who draws. I like other things too, like Gundam and Legos and music and socks. I would love to receive a pair of socks now that I'm older. Wow, that's really boring. But at the end of the day, it's being thoughtful and not just thinking, oh, this person likes to draw, let me just give them a pen. It's about understanding the person that you're giving the gift to, and really, without any hint of irony, it's the thought that counts. Oh, one more thing before I go, there's also one last gift. Why not give the gift of knowledge? I have a class up on Colossal on how to draw mechs. It's 10 hours of content that teaches you how to draw mechs from start to finish. It's really good for artists who are just beginners and don't know where to start. I go through the whole process of drawing a mech and designing one step by step. And even if they are experienced in mech art or design, I think there's still something there because I think it's valuable just to see the way how someone else approaches things, and maybe there's something to learn from that. I think it could be valuable. Colossal is doing a holiday end of the year special, so for each one you buy, you get another one for free. I love that platform. It's the reason I joined up with them. They do really awesome long form educational content, especially for artists. So go check it out. Okay, there's a link down there below as always. Bye. This whole time while I was filming, this guy, he's down there. He's hanging out. He's hanging out. Hey.